Hi, this is Joseph Anthony of TappingWithMusic.com. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're actually not going to tap. We're just going to have a little chat about the paradigm that is very prevalent in modern psychology as well as the self-help movement. And that is that in order to be free now, we have to go digging through the past to find the hidden keys of all our past traumas so we can be free now. And that is a very prevalent paradigm, a very deeply ingrained belief. You know what? I know this because I believed it for years. My experiences seem to confirm this belief because I would have images come up of the past, and most often painful ones. And I would think I was digging and reliving those moments, when in fact what I was really doing was feeling a feeling that had been perhaps clotted away somewhere in my body. I was finally able to, or it was safe enough to feel that feeling. I wasn't going back into the past, even though my thoughts tried to make it seem that way. It's impossible to go back into the past, right? So, anyway, I believed this. I believed that this was true, that if I wanted to be free now, I had to dig through the past. And what happened to me was there were such intense cathartic releases of emotions that were woven and enmeshed with images and memories that I started to get, really, for lack of a better word, addicted to those experiences, to the adrenaline, to the drama, to the great swirling stuff that comes from that kind of cathartic digging in the past and releasing of those things. So I would spend hours asking myself, why am I this way now? It must be because of that memory and that trauma and that painful thing. So much of the whole modern inner child idea is based on this being that is in us, or beings that are wounded. And you have to go back into the past and rescue them from the basement under the basement. And for me, that all became very addictive, and I began to, again for lack of a better word, to worship the past. It became my God. And I lost the present. I even lost sight of the future. As one of my favorite writers once said, Alan Watts once said, you know, trying to live in the past is like trying to drive your car only looking through the rearview mirror. And that kind of sums it up for me quite nicely. So, this belief and this paradigm that we can't be free now unless we dig through the past. I'd like to talk to you about my paradigm that I've worked with for myself and that I work with my clients. And hopefully it'll help you in some way, shape, or form, to give you at least an alternative to digging through the painful past. And if I think of the past, and I think of the image of digging through the past, the image I get now is of dry, dusty soil. Digging for keys in dry, dusty soil. And the thing about it is, I've come to see that there are no keys there. In fact, there are no keys to the present. If I'm in this moment, right here and right now, the soil is rich and fertile, it's moist with life, it's drenched with wonder. And the reason there are no keys is because there's no doors in this moment. It's all spacious, it's all open. So, this idea of going back is really, I'm going to use this word, but it's a strong word, it's a lie. We can't go back and change anything. We can't. What we can do, and what EFT is so powerfully helpful to help us do, is change the images we carry about those events. And not only that, it can give us what we need in this moment. What we need and want in this moment to feel better. Now, some may argue, well, isn't that just like watching TV or taking a drug or doing something just to feel better? I personally don't think it's a crime or a sin to want to feel better. And I also have this idea that for me, those things that seem like things stuck in the past, they're just emotions that have been clotted somewhere in my body. And what is an emotion? It's an energy with a certain flavor or fragrance. It's flavored with happiness, it's flavored with grief, shame, rage. And these are things that manifest and express themselves through the body. They're physiological expressions and manifestations of an energy. And so when I have those clots within me that have been held there for years, I've attached beliefs about them, stories, images, thoughts. And the lie is that unless I go back, I'll never be free. The truth is, I do need to let those feelings become expressed and manifested. But how? How do we let a deeply long-held emotion be manifested and expressed in a way that is constructive, creative, powerfully helpful, and not traumatically destructive? And for me, EFT helps me do that. And you know what? I think I've given you enough in this little video to chew on. In the next video, we'll talk about how EFT can help us feel those experiences and feelings without having them own us. And how do we move through those strong experiences? So stay tuned for the next video. I appreciate you watching. And if you have any thoughts, comments, questions about what I've just talked about, feel free to drop me a line. tappingwithmusic.com. This is Joseph Anthony. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.